What's up, YouTube? This is your girl, Megan. Welcome back to my channel, to all of my returning subscribers. However, if this is your first time joining me on today, welcome back to my channel. It's here we use information from celestial bodies to help us gain a better understanding of our favorite celebrities, world events, but most importantly, our damn selves. So thumbs up this video, subscribe to become a part of the family. Come on in and have a seat, all right? So as you can see by the title, I'm coming to y'all once more with another celebrity birth chart reading, this time on none other than Miss G to the L to the O, Big GLO. You can catch me out, slide with your Miss Glorilla herself, okay? So I got a couple of requests to do Glorilla's natal chart. I actually really enjoy her. She's very refreshing. I always stand the rap girlies whose main appeal isn't necessarily male-centered. There's something to be said about the sexy girls, the, lick my, suck my, eat my. And she does, she's a woman, so she includes her little one-liners, but she just has this aura about herself to where it's just kind of like she gives real nigga, you know what I mean? In the best way possible. And I actually really appreciate it. I love it. I appreciate it. And y'all know how they do a lot of female rappers anyway, in terms of just not giving them their just due, their credibility, and always trying to make it seem like you have to play yourself down or fit a certain box, look-wise, brand-wise, style-wise, in order for you to be lit. So shout outs to Big GLO. I'm actually a big fan. I love to see my nieces doing it. So we're just going to do like a really brief, semi-comprehensive natal chart reading for her. There's nothing really in particular that I wanted to talk about subject-wise, but there are some key points about her chart that I thought would be kind of interesting for educational purposes, okay? So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So Gloria, aka Glorilla, was born on July 28, 1999 in Memphis, Tennessee. I am not casting her birth chart here just because I kind of don't have the time to do that. So, you can either take my word for it or, take the birth information, go enter it in a website yourself. Astro charts actually is my favorite in terms of a birth chart calculator, and follow along or not. It's up to you. But according to her birth information, she is actually a Leo sun. Her sun is at the 5th degree. She's actually a double Leo with her being a birth number 28, as the number 28 actually reduces to 1. And the number 1, according to Chaldean numerology, is ruled by the sun, as is the sign Leo. So right away, when I realized she was a Leo, it made a lot of things make sense, especially in regards to her persona. The sun in astrology, as well as, Leo, a lot of Leo energy can be associated with a person's persona, what we're known for, our claim to fame. Her sun also happens to be forming a conjunction to her north node. And this could easily point to her being a natural born star. It definitely explains her popularity, her being somebody who could be the life of the party, highly creative, right? Leo is the natural ruler of the 5th house, which does deal with our creative output. And just where she's just an all out and out talent. Somebody who, if you want to put it like this, destined for fame, destined for the spotlight. And with her sun forming a conjunction to Mercury as well, this could also point towards her being a natural writer. I noticed some of the best rappers actually have certain variations of Mercury aspecting personal planets. And this is because Mercury is the planet that directly deals with not only just communication in general, but one's ability to write, right? Your cognitive function, your ability to be witty and, put words together. So I thought that was kind of interesting. However, her Mercury is opposing Neptune, that Neptune in Aquarius, which could deal with where she might get help from other friends or where she may help other people write. So, do with that what you will. However, as an Aquarius South Node, This could point to Glorilla, even despite her having this newfound fame and popularity and success, coming from a background where maybe she fit into a group where, and if you are familiar with her, you would know that she is actually one of a whole lineup of girls. She and her friends actually are all rappers, okay? So she has some other homegirls who rap as well. And I mean, for what it's worth, they're really good. They're really good. Even when you see her do interviews, she has a whole bunch of girls with her. She's also very, very public, very adamant about her friendships, how much she loves her friends, you know, her gang, like on the gang. She loves gang. She all about her gang. And that's very Aquarius, as Aquarius is the natural ruler of the 11th house and is responsible for our friendships, quite literally, our associations, who we associate ourselves with, the groups of people that we form relationships with, is very Aquarian. So as an Aquarius South Node, like a lot of Aquarius South Nodes, Glorilla comes from many past life experiences as well as, you know, early life experiences where she spent a lot of her time either with friends, a lot of her emotional connections. She also is an Aquarius moon for what it's worth. So, and she has Aquarius conjoined to this South Node as well. So a lot of emotional attachment, a lot of attachments to her friendships where, you know, her friends are everything. Her friendship groups are everything. Could have a large group of friends. A lot of times these people do. However, like I said, in this lifetime, she is supposed to kind of outgrow that and become more comfortable being in the spotlight, standing on her own accord. Okay. This is also further reinforced with her Aquarius moon conjoined to Uranus as well. That could also deal with her being an internet sensation. Okay. Now, this could also put her in a position to put her friends on, this opposition that's taking place between that Aquarius South Node, Uranus, even that Aquarius moon, and her North Node, her Leo sun. So maybe, you know, she could be somebody who, now that she's on, she could put her friends on, but she has to be careful. And if I were her astrologer, you know, Aquarius does deal with astrology. A lot of Aquarius South Nodes can be into astrology, a lot of Aquarius placements. So Miss GLO, if you're watching, I would still be very mindful, because although she has a lot of energy and a lot of bonds that are going to be associated with her friendships, right? This could point to, because, you know, your South Node is a trap. So it could easily point to where her friendships could also be her Achilles heel. Meaning, yeah, it's a very big centerpiece of your life. You could get a lot of support from friends, but naturally, just because of the trajectory of your soul's evolution, to be in the spotlight, you are going to have to put yourself in the position where you're going to step away from people. And not only that, GLO has her Scorpio Mars squaring Uranus, which could deal or produce actually hate, envy, and jealousy amongst friends. Leo North Nodes in general may find situations where the more attention that they attract from other people, you know, they can get backlash from others. So people looking at you sideways. But this Scorpio Mars squaring her Uranus actually intensifies this. So you could look at this as literally like hating ass bitches, like people in her friendship group, people that she's associated with who may feel a way about her, quite frankly. Okay. And actually that's something that she could come across very often in terms of being intimidating to other people, threatening other people. And this doesn't just stop with other women. This could extend over into the way she's viewed in the public in general, but also even with men. Which brings me to my next point, because GLO does have the infamous Sun square Mars aspect. And fire sign women in general, because they're ruled by masculine planets, right? So we're talking about Leo women, Aries women, Sagittarian women, or, you know, fire signs that are masculine in nature. They tend to have this kind of energy, the women do, that could put them on the same level as a lot of like their male counterparts. Energetically, they could show up in a way where they exude a lot of traits that most people in society would associate with men, like confidence, achievements, doers, people who are passion driven in a way where, they're hands-on, competitive, they're producing. Everything is always about output and exploration. What can I conquer? What can I do? So these are things that most people associate with men. And when you take that energy and place it or assign it to a woman, especially knowing how fragile the male ego is, niggas get real funny acting. So when we talk about that Leo sun squaring Mars is a very masculine planet as well. And I've been meaning to make a video on this. This is going to be a different video for a different day. But women with different variations of Sun Mars aspects, a lot of times can encounter situations where they are very much a threat to men, where men can find you very intimidating, especially with her Mars being in Scorpio at that, to the point where at some point this could even put you in jeopardy in terms of your physical safety. Men are naturally going to want to compete with you, or find that maybe you're the type that always wants to compete with them. A lot of these Sun Mars women, especially with GLO having this Sun Mars square, the way that they approach life, the way that they approach relationships, the way that they treat men could be very masculine. They could approach these things in a manner in which most people would assign to men. So once again, being all about what can I achieve, or maybe in some cases being hypersexual, provocative, or just being really cut. A lot of Sun Mars women, especially Sun square Mars women, are very cut to the chase. Look, this is what we're doing. Let's get rid of all the extra shit. And then with her also being an Aquarius moon, and then having that Aquarius South Node, Leo North Node kind of lunar nodal placement, she's just a very shameless, very, in your face type of energy. And once again, these are energies that a lot of people don't really associate with women. They just don't. And it can make a lot of people very uncomfortable. Even when you draw a correlation to her music, you can see a lot of this in her music. The song that she has, which was the Fuck Nigga Free, right? Talking about twerking on headlights. That's very Aquarius energy. Aquarius is one of those signs that can be very shameless, very ratchet, very banshee. Me and my friends, we get together, we act a fool, and we turn up, right? And that Leo energy, especially with that Leo sun squaring Mars, just makes her very aggressive. And a lot of people, a lot of public discourse that I've seen surrounding her, from the voice to just her demeanor, her disposition, people talk about she is kind of rough around the edges and whatever the case may be. So I'm sure this is something that she's probably gotten in real life, and she could attract a lot of men who might even want to control her or seek to, control that aspect of who she is. Also reinforced with her Mars squaring her Saturn and Taurus. She could be accustomed to dating older men, or men who try to exercise some control over her. And don't let them have a little money with this Saturn and Taurus. They'll try to hang that over her head in a certain type of way too. But I digress. This Sun-Mars square could also reinforce friendship drama. So another reason she needs to be very careful and be very mindful of who she keeps in her circle. Okay. And that could also be reinforced with that Sun-Moon opposition she has too. And I noticed she has the inverse Sun-Moon aspects, or Sun-Moon placements rather, as Meg the Stallion. Meg the Stallion is an Aquarius Sun, Leo Moon. GLO is a Leo Sun, Aquarius Moon. So she kind of puts me in the mind of Meg in a certain respect. And if y'all know about Meg the Stallion and y'all watch the blogs and all this other stuff, y'all know she has a lot of drama when it comes to her friendship life, her personal life. And that's a different story for a different day. I think the bitch is the problem. She's a lot of the problem. And I'm not even speaking to the shooting incident, but just in general. But like I said, that's neither here nor there. A different video for a different day. Okay. Point is, I feel like Glorilla could have some of this going on too. Not saying she's the problem or whether she is or whether she isn't, but just speaking to this theme, this heavy theme around being mindful of the company you keep, who you are around, especially as you elevate and status and fame and all those good things, right? So just be careful. A lot of her friends, especially with this Aquarius moon Uranus conjunction, could be childhood friends, but with her moon also squaring her Mars, that Mars in Scorpio, once again, this just reinforces a lot of these friendships could, be too close for comfort, where you could be too up close and personal to women, other people who don't really mean you no good. Now, this square, in addition to the square that's happening between her Mars and that Leo sun, could also point towards the abortion that she got. It could also even point to where at some point in life she could have issues having children. I notice a lot of Leo North nodes. At some point in life, later in life, she may want to have kids, but there could be a lot of karma surrounding children. Or maybe with this Leo sun squaring her Mars in Scorpio, she could feel a void or something like that because, she got an abortion. So maybe in the back of her mind is something that lingers. But maybe later on in life when she actually tries to have children, there could be some issues with either conception, maybe or maybe not. But it could also even just deal with where she may have issues with her period and stuff like that. But that's kind of personal. Different story for a different day. We can talk about fertility and this aspect in periods and all that other stuff in a different video. But I thought that was interesting because she publicly speaks on her abortion. I think she put a line in one of her songs where she was like, "Oh, I'm so glad I got that abortion." And honestly, going to the clinic for an abortion may not be the only thing that she's seeking or that she sought medical attention for with that Leo sun squaring Mars and Scorpio. She could mess with some dudes who have probably given her STDs before. So if I was her, I would be really, really careful, okay? Because that aspect can kind of set you up for that. So just be careful, girl. Wrap it up. Now, I wanted to address her Aquarius moon squaring Jupiter and Taurus. That could deal with her coming from a big family. I think she says she has a whole bunch of brothers and sisters. However, the larger issue here is that it could put her in positions where she's footing the tab for her family and friends, and it becoming very expensive. You could look at this aspect as her taking her family out of town, traveling, even with friends. And once again, when you see her doing interviews, she got all her friends and stuff with her. And I mean, I'm talking about big groups of people too. So she needs to be mindful of that, okay? Because for obvious reasons, that could be very taxing for her. So I thought that was interesting. She also has her Venus and Virgo trining this same Jupiter in Taurus, which could deal with where, she could also hire her friends, give them jobs, where she could have an aim to get money with a lot of her friends. Maybe, they could be her secretary or assistant or whatever the case may be. This aspect could also point towards her and her friends supporting one another to live healthier lives, like doing a lot of self-improvement work, which I thought was really interesting because she did go public about the 60-day cleanse she and her friend went on. That could be supported by this aspect here, this Virgo, or Venus and Virgo rather, trining this Jupiter and Taurus. Where they're challenging each other to eat healthy and grow and all this other stuff. And that could also be reinforced with all of her Aquarius energy too, that Aquarius moon and Uranus conjunction, that Aquarius South Node, because Aquarius is a sign of manifestation. So a lot of people talk about how she was able to manifest her fame and success. Also further reinforced with her Neptune in Aquarius. Is she a part of this Neptune Aquarius generation? Yep, she is. Neptune in Aquarius as well. Sextile and Chiron and Scorpio. That could deal with her having her prayers answered. Miracles, where she's manifesting and a miracle actually comes through. And this could actually even deal with this being sent to her by like an ancestor or something. Okay. She also has Venus sextiling that Mars in Scorpio, which could deal with her collaborating with some of her friends. Like I said, some of her friends are really good rappers. I don't know their names, but y'all can look them up. Also, in terms of her name, she has a very old school name. That's something else that is public discourse, Glorilla, right? And this is one thing I notice about a lot of people with Mars and Scorpio, and including myself, because I have my Mars and Scorpio also. They tend to have names that are inherited to them, like names that are passed down. Scorpio does deal with inheritance, things that we receive, especially from, that's passed down in our lineage. And with Mars dealing with the person's name, it could deal with your title, your identity, what you answer to. Mars and Scorpio, for a lot of people, these could be names that, they could be named after other people or have the same name as other people in their family. And Gloria, aka Miss GLO, actually went public and said that her father named her after his mom. So she's named after her grandmother. That's very Scorpio Mars. I have a very, very old school middle name, and it just so happens to be the same name as my mother and my grandmother. So, just a little fun fact about Scorpio Mars placements, okay? Additionally, in terms of that Sun-Mars square, taking it back there, not only could she be the type to, attract a lot of men or even create or, attract a lot of drama with men, there could even be a tendency to attract other people's men, which is also very Aquarian too. But the fact she has a lot of this opposing energy, this Leo, Aquarius dynamic going on in her chart, that could deal with, I wouldn't even be surprised if there was drama amongst friends about men. I know she said her and her friends don't fight over niggas, but especially with this Mars and Scorpio square to her Uranus and her sun squaring Mars, it's just, I wouldn't be surprised if there was some backdoor energy or some weird sneaky stuff going on. I'm pretty sure she's been in positions where she done found out dudes she's been fucking with and had kids. And the more I look at her chart, I can see why she would write a song like Fuck Nigga Free. Because my good sis probably attracts a lot, and I mean a lot of fuck niggas. That sun in Leo, a lot of Leo women in general, like women with dominant Leo placement. So we're talking sun. This could be applicable to Leo moons, Mars and Leo, Venus and Leo. Especially if it's afflicted, meaning if there are like prominent like negative aspects being made to it, or if it's placed badly, can experience so much hardship and just grief when it comes to men. Really have a really hard time in relationships when it comes to men. And a lot of that, once again, boils down to just how they show up in the world. So to a certain extent, this is also applicable to a lot of other fire sign women as well. But, just be in relationships with men who you feel like I said, whether they're competing with you or you got to compete for their love or, attracting players. She also has the Sun square Neptune aspect, which could absolutely deal with you attracting a liar, a cheater, maybe a jailbird, drug dealers, men who are just so not honest. A man who, that Leo, Sun and Leo squaring Neptune could deal with, her dealing with a man who probably got like a double life or some shit. Kids that he hides or other women that he, hides and kind of keeps on the side. She has so many aspects that can make her dating life a living hell. So I see exactly what would inspire her to write some Fuck Nigga Free. She also has an infamous abuse aspect, which is Venus square Pluto. Now, on the lighter end, that could just reinforce her dealing with men who are whores, who, just can't be tied down and whatever the case may be. And maybe hypocritical, because the minute she starts doing her, they get in their feelings about it. They get mad about it. But it could also even deal with her being in some abusive relationships. That in tandem with that Sun Mars square, I wouldn't be surprised if, she comes out later and starts talking about domestic violence. I think in one of her songs, she said she liked to beat niggas. So she might be the one who beating these niggas up. And women with that Sun Mars square, you got to watch out for them. Or women with Sun Mars aspects. This also goes for the conjunctions too. Can actually be very violent. But a lot of times it's a defense mechanism. It's a self-preservation mechanism, because many of them were placed in situations where, men are coming at them like that. So they kind of have to protect themselves. But these are women who can kind of hang in there with a lot of how they show up can be very masculine. So these are the women who might beat your ass. She said she the type of girl, when she get mad, she like to tweet something. I like to beat something. That's very Sun Mars square vibes. Very Venus Pluto square vibes. So yeah. Also, I want her to be mindful when it comes to her contractual obligations. I know she signed to Yo Gotti, but I do, and this is one of my predictions, y'all. If it comes to pass, just go ahead and drop in the comment section and say, Megan, you right. But I can see her not being happy with the contract that she signed with Yo Gotti, because this Saturn in Taurus is squaring her Neptune, which is actually really bad for business. And it could deal with where a person is stolen from. Jupiter is the planet of publishing. So maybe at some point she feels like she's going to be swindled, especially when it comes to her publishing or her rights, or, getting her credit or something like that. She maybe not getting the credit she feels like she deserves, her money. That could just even deal with her having money problems, financial problems in general. She mentioned how she had them prior to getting famous, but if I was her, once again, I would be very mindful of that. She got a lot of karma, that Saturn Taurus placement, lots of karma surrounding your money. And the way it's aspected could point to, situations where she could either get taken advantage of or where she kind of looks down and looks up and shit's not right. It's not right. So if I were her, I would be very mindful, very careful. And this reading is long enough. I ain't want it to be that long, y'all. So this is just a comprehensive natal chart reading for Miss Glorilla. If you like what you heard, are interested in getting your own natal chart reading or any other type of astrology-based reading for that matter, feel free to contact me at astrowerld. That's Astro, WERLD @gmail.com. And we can go ahead and schedule you your very own reading on today. So thank y'all for watching. Drop down in the comment section. Sound off on how y'all feel about Glorilla. Do y'all like her? What you think about her chart? And I will catch y'all in the next video. Bye.